On Nationwide this evening, going back to our roots, we meet Americans who have come to the Longford-Roscommon area to find the homesteads of their ancestors. We find out how they undertake the task. Plus in Dublin, we hear all about the history of the Huguenots who settled here almost 400 years ago. Over recent years, the popularity of Ancestry Search TV programmes has fuelled an appetite for those with limited knowledge of their history to begin the search and undertake a detailed dive into their family's past. For many of Irish descent, particularly in far-flung parts of the world, but especially for Irish Americans, this journey begins online. Using the scant details they have of their ancestors who left Ireland over 100 years ago, many of these searches evolve into an eventual trip to Ireland to find the family homestead. Because of Ireland's huge diaspora population across the globe, genealogy websites have become very popular. And as one organisation called Roots Ireland, which takes a much more personal approach in helping people to trace their roots and in many cases bringing people to the actual place where their ancestors lived. Our reporter Niall Martin joined the Longford branch of Roots Ireland, who found a new headquarters at a restored cottage in the townland of Fermoyle in County Longford.
Today we're tracing long-lost family roots and reconnecting with past ancestors. This is the Killian home place in Fermoyle, County Longford. In 2013, Joan Killian Gallagher from Connecticut bought back the derelict family cottage from where her grandmother set off for a life in America a century earlier.
Everybody wanted to knock it down and build something new. Nobody wanted to hear about fixing this up. When I was on the fence about buying this, my grandmother, Katie Killian O'Shea, went to America when she was 19 because her younger brother, Peter, wanted to become a priest. And, she needed to send money back home. And I think when I realized that she went there to say goodbye to her, and it was exactly 100 years prior. That was my connection, imagining my grandmother, who was the gentlest soul, most beautiful soul, and I kind of said, well, okay, I can do this.
But Joan wanted the house in some way to be used for heritage purposes within the community. And now it's the Longford headquarters of the Roots Ireland Ancestry Tracing Service. You can book a consultation and local genealogists will find your people anywhere in Longford.
Everybody who has come and for whom we have found their place of origin is coming back and bringing somebody else. I mean, they want to share what they found and the feeling of actually standing in the place that their ancestor left and knowing for sure that that is the place.
So today is a Family Genealogy Open Day, where those interested in tracing their family roots can come and learn more about where they came from. Patty Carbon, who lives in Michigan, received a grant from the Lilly Endowment Fund aimed at broadening teachers' creativity. She'll be staying here at the Killian home place for a week while researching her Irish connections.
I was a recipient of a grant, the Lilly Endowment grant, that allowed me to learn more about my heritage. And so Bill and I brought our kids back here to just walk the land that our family was from. My grandparents, they left Ireland and they left and it was a struggle. And I got to learn about how brave they were and courageous and the stories that they brought to the United States. And it's so nice to come back and see where they were from and what it was like and what the land was like. And I think it's deep within us of who we are, and it's really awesome to connect with that.
Over the week in Longford, Patty travelled to see the old family home of her grandfather and experienced Irish culture.
We're going to travel a little bit, but I'll be here for a week. And during that time, I'll really just get to write and learn more about my heritage and then also just write some curriculum that I'll be able to bring back to my school and teach my students at Darden Elementary School about my culture and about Irish step dancing and about Ireland, the history of Ireland.
The centre provides expert help in tracing Longford family roots, and local historian David Leahy is one of those researchers who will do his damnedest to find out where you came from.
I think people are more interested now because a lot of them are remote from their parishes of origin. Prior to 1900, a lot of people didn't move parish or even townland, but nowadays people are moving all over Ireland. They're moving all over the world as well. So they want to make that connection back to where their ancestors were from.
David has been working with Karen Murphy-Terry from Richardsville, Virginia, to find the place where her great-grandfather Benjamin Stevenson lived in County Longford in the early 1900s. She travelled from the States for the big reveal, where her Irish ancestors came from.
Okay, Karen, have you always known about your Irish ancestry?
I have. Since I was little, my mother would tell me about her grandfather, who was born and raised in Ireland and then had come over to the United States in 1902. But he was always part of our lives, even though I've only met him. I remember meeting him once when he was very old and I was very young. But
Joan has put that information, along with my information, in the booklet there for yourself.
which is thrilling.
And you can see exactly how you're connected to the Stevensons of Clontumfur in Carlow Parish.
David has managed to find a map pinpointing where Karen's great-grandfather lived.
This is an advertisement from the encumbered estates in Ireland. This was Margaret West, who had died, and her estate had gone into bankruptcy and they were selling. So that was 1855, and it was in relation to the townland of Clontumfur, where the Stevensons were from. The best of all is that there's a map and a schedule of landowners going with the map, which shows the exact plots where the Stevensons were located in 1855.
It's just a 25-minute drive to see the land that bridges 170 years and 5,000 kilometres.
Okay, Karen, welcome to Clontumfur. Clontumfur in Carlow Parish in County Longford.
Okay.
And this is where the Stevensons originated, your family. There were a number of families in the area, but Benjamin was your great-grandfather.
Yes.
So this is Clontumfur Endowed School, and he probably would have gone to school there as a young man. We're on the land of Seamus Monaghan here in Clontumfur, but it was previously owned by the Stevensons. There we go.
Somebody.
And you are now standing on the land which was owned by your great-grandfather back in 1884 to 1887, before he moved into Longford town.
It's pretty
So,
amazing.
welcome home to Ireland. Joan Killian Gallagher and I were out here doing a bit of research in advance of your visit. And we picked up a stone from John Stevenson's land and Benjamin Stevenson's land, and we're going to give you that as a token
Thank
of
you.
your connection to this property.
Oh my God.
Back from over 150 years ago at this
So
stage.
we shouldn't be so excited about a rock, but this is very exciting. Thank you.
Yeah.
This is the stuff I love. This is very tangible evidence that we were here and that we had a life here. It's a little overwhelming to be here and just realize that the family was here in the 1840s, 50s, 60s, and hasn't been here since, until now. There was a life happening here. There was village and people and family and history, and it was all here. It's nice to have some experts of the area around to bring you, because I could find in the valuation, what lot, but I really had no idea where that might be, or if, the land would still be here, but I wouldn't have been able to be here
And
without.
that's why the local connection is very important. So it's important
Definitely.
to talk to local relations or people who own the land that their ancestors came from, because they're the ones who still have that knowledge in their heads. The likes of Seamus Smollan, who owns this land now,
Yes.
was able to point out all the houses belonging to the Stevensons in Clontumford when Joan and I called out on Wednesday.
So you're going to buy a bit of land?
That's the plan. It's always been the plan.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. When I was little, we would talk about Ireland, and none of us had ever been there, but my mom had this relationship with her grandfather, and she felt a very strong tie, I think, to that. And so, yeah, she passed that on.
There are lots of commercial and state records archives available online. They'll give you names, dates and places. But if you want to find the real texture of our ancestors' lives, the place to go is the Irish Folklore Notebooks on duchas.ie.
1938-39 notebooks are very important because they carry stories from school children back in that era. The children interviewed a lot of their grandparents who would have been elderly at the time in their 70s or 80s. The information they can find out there is what life was like back in the 1850s and 1860s from the great-grandparents' stories that are recorded by the grandchildren.
Back at the Killian Home Place Open Day, local people are gathered to chat with the American visitors, a sort of homecoming celebration. Through this whole adventure of buying back the old family cottage, Joan Killian Gallagher has found her long-lost cousins. But it's a two-way street. Those relatives have also discovered a whole history they never knew.
This is Patrick Brennan of Newtown Cashel. His grandmother was born at the Killian Home Place, Kate Killian. My grandmother, Kate Killian, was named after his grandmother.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known many of my past relatives only for Joan. She come along and brought me into this, and from there we took off. And it's wonderful to be here. It's wonderful to come and say my father was here in whatever year as a 16-year-old boy.
Walking the fields.
Yeah.
You know, there's a feeling you get walking the fields and looking at your cattle, and your life is enhanced in so many ways, and you just keep following it. And that's
and you
what
meet
we've
so
been doing.
many people different that you never would meet on that journey.
Going to see such local support for that project in Long